So we are obviously out in the woods, trying to find a nice spot here to show you my latest and my first blade or knife made by Russian knife maker Cheburkov. So let's see here. Here we have it. Maybe go into some lighter, better light conditions. So here we go. This is the sheath and this is the knife. And I'm holding the camera in the wrong hand, so give me 1 second here to switch positions. Will you look at that? The Mazur birch handle, the Damascus blade, the marbled or patterned titanium bolster. I've got to say that this is a pretty good looking knife. I'm not sure if you guys agree, but well, I mean, we all have our different preferences of sorts, but in my opinion this is actually pretty spectacular. Super smooth. Can't even feel any transition. No voids. This is a piece of functional art. I can tell you guys that much for sure. And I can tell you right away that I know that this blade is scary sharp. All knives that I've ever handled made by Cheburkov have crazy sharp edges. But we're gonna see that more when we put it to the test here in you know, slicing different types of paper, etc., doing some food prep and whatever we decide to put this knife through, right? But if first impressions are important, then this knife, well, this knife nails it. Absolutely nails it. I mean, the sun is setting now, so it's difficult, you know. Here we go, perhaps. Look at that handle. The bolster. And the blade without my reflection. Yeah. Yeah, this will be a joy to put to the test. Absolutely. Fantastic fit and finish. Oh yeah. I got some rays of light here making for some nice bonus footage of sort. Like I said, first impressions are important. And this knife knows how to make that. So it's time to unbox the Cheburkov Eger, or Huntsman, or is it Hunter? I'm not quite sure. It's either Huntsman or Hunter. This unboxing is going to be not the most exciting one, but we will also go over the specifications of the knife. But the reason that the unboxing will not be super interesting is because the knife arrived in a transparent plastic bag of sorts. And the contents of that transparent plastic bag was this. There was actually a rubber band as well, attaching the certificate of authenticity to the knife like this. But I guess that, well, this is the unboxing, pretty much. So let's take a look here. Obviously there are no stickers or anything like that in the box. It's just, you know, a knife and a certificate of authenticity. On the back side of the certificate of authenticity, we have some information about the maker, we got some signatures and a stamp. On the front side, however, we have a picture of the knife in question. We got some specifications, a stamp and some signatures. And I will say that this specific knife can be offered in a variety of handle materials and steel materials. Shown on the photo here is some laminated type of steel, I think. Yeah, definitely some type of laminated steel, and with a handle of some, to me, unknown wood type. And that is because they use one and the same photo, even if you go with like carbon fiber scales and Damascus blade or M390 blade and birch handle, then you will still have the same photo. So do not be confused if the photo of the knife does not correlate 100% with the knife you got. With the folders they show the base models, and with the fixed blades I guess they show some, you know, some random version of it. But let's take a look at the specs here. I should be able to understand what is what here from this, or maybe I won't actually. Well, I will do my best to decipher or the authenticity of the certificate of authenticity. But before we go into the specs, this is the sheath that is provided with the knife. It is some very nice feeling leather. I'm not going to go into details in leather or the different types or why I know differences, but I can tell right away that this feels really solidly made. Two rivets here, some nice, really nice stitching going on here with some maroon-like, maroon-colored thread. On the back side here we have a dangler attachment, which is, I think, non-removable because the rivets are, yeah, they are. It's not, you know, something that you can snap open and remove. But obviously you can use it in a belt here, like this, but you can also choose to use the dangler, which is what I'm going to do. I actually prefer sheath like this, like a more pouch style, than, you know, snapping style, and I also prefer using danglers. I have a few of the custom number 3 danglers that I put on my different sheath on a regular basis, but here I will of course use the dangler that is provided, since it looks and feels like high quality. So the sheath here is really nice, if I put it like that, and you also have the Cheburkov stamp here. I'm not sure how well it's visible, but there is a Cheburkov stamp right there. Maybe it is visible. Maybe we can take a closer look here at the rivets and the stitching. Then it's of course glued as well. And then we have the back part in detail with the dangler to it. So that is the default sheath that comes with the knife. I actually didn't even know what kind of sheath would be delivered with the knife, because when I ordered it I only had a photo of the knife itself. So let's unsheath this knife now and take a look here. So we have already seen this blade, and in pretty good detail in the beginning of the video, since I like to start my videos showing the knives in a as nice or good environment as possible. Looking at the specs then here. So the total length of the knife here should be 251 millimeters with a blade length of, and this is where I get slightly unsure whether or not the blade length is 120 or 130 centimeters. So is it 12 or is it 13 centimeters in blade length? That is a good question actually. Or if one is cutting edge length and one is blade length. Perhaps the cutting edge length is 130 and the blade length is 120, depending on how you measure it. The blade thickness, however, should be easy to find. And I would also be able to estimate that this is around 4 millimeters in blade thickness. And I also find that there is, the blade thickness is indeed 4 millimeters. So it is a, like a semi-thick blade thickness. Like that. And you actually get the full thickness for quite a bit of the knife here. It's just at the very tip here that it goes down to like a finer tip, so to say. No jimping or anything going on here. The handle material here is Mazur birch. So some type of European birch, I would say. It looks really nice and it feels very nice as well. It looks like there are some voids, etc., but there isn't. It is actually, you can't really feel the transition with the bolster, with the titanium bolster or the stainless pins here. Lanyard hole here, obviously, as can be seen. And like I said, titanium bolster. And it is actually quite a nice looking bolster. There's some like, what should I say, like some marble patterning or something like that. Really, really nice looking. It goes very well with the Damascus blade here. And I would say once again here that this blade to me looks like some sort of Dama steel, but it's steel specified, and it's specified right there on the top. Let's see if we can get it to show here. This is gonna be really, really tricky to see in the camera, but it's specified as ZDI 1016, and I only have one other knife in that particular steel, and that is my Cheburkov Ruski folder, and I have yet to put that to any more use than cutting some paper, which it did really, really well. But it is a steel that I might have to read up on a bit to fully understand its properties of sorts. The blade shape here is also reminiscent to the Ruski from Cheburkov, with a sort of a drop pointish, sheepfoot-ish design. I like this design overall, I'd say. So it'd be interesting to put it to real use, because to me this is not a pure collector's item. This is also a tool meant to be put to use. The knife is obviously a full tang, as can be seen here and has been seen since the beginning of the video, which should make it, fairly tough and durable as well. Do we have any other specs of vital information here? I think we should check the weight of the knife, but that is not, I can't see it specified here on this card, but I do have a scale which lets me know the weight regardless. Let's see. And the weight of this knife is 177 grams. So it's not a super heavy knife. Not super light either, but yeah. And the balance point, that could be interesting. Do we have, yeah. So the balance, this knife is a little bit back heavy, so to say. Some would probably have preferred to see the balance point more here at the bolster, but it is in fact a bit below the bolster. But in actual practice and use, that doesn't matter very much. In hand, it feels, it feels well balanced and nice. It is well, rounded. There are no sharp edges, etc. Definitely a blade that will not give you any type of hot spots or anything like that. And in terms of size, I wear size 10, large gloves. Placing the knife in my hand like this lets you know that you have some space here for an extra finger. You can use different grips depending on how you want to use the knife or what you're using the knife for. I'm not saying you should put your hand on the back here and then chop away, because this is obviously not a knife to do any chopping with. Batooning, absolutely, you can batoon with this knife should you feel the need for it. But yeah, it's gonna be up to personal preferences, what you feel comfortable doing with your knife. I'm not gonna use this knife for chopping in this video, and I'm probably not gonna use it for batooning. But I have no doubt that it would hold up for batooning work. So, is there anything I've failed to mention? Obviously there's no jimping here. I like that. I like the cleanness or the clean lines of this knife. I do like, I prefer jimping on some knives. I prefer finger choils on some knives. This one lacks both finger choil and jimping, but on some knives I just prefer clean, elegant looks and lines. Yeah, I think we have gone through most of the things I wanted to go over in the unboxing, or well, unboxing part was like 2 seconds, 1.5. This was more a walkthrough of the specifications of the knife and some of its characteristics and attributes, including of course the leather sheath. So I think we're gonna settle with that for now and move on with some other parts of the video. So it's time to put this work of art through its paces, or at least through its first sharpness test, which will consist of some paper slicing 3 different kinds of paper. We are going to slice some regular printing paper, which can be surprisingly difficult for some knives, probably due to the paper grain structure or something like that. We are also going to slice some fairly thin magazine paper, but with total different finish to the paper than the printing paper. And we are also going to go with some newspaper paper as the grand finale of sorts here. This should of course provide the biggest challenge. But let us start with the printing paper. So here we have a piece of regular printing paper that is blowing a bit in the wind, and it is actually a tad bit damp outside, which could make it a little bit more challenging, but it is what it is. So let's try to slice this piece of paper up here. Man, it cuts really nicely. Very clean cuts. Making quick work of this, of this printing paper. It's getting we're running out of room here. But yeah, so we can see that this one is doing a really good job at shredding the printing paper here. Maybe we should satisfy soon, but it is oddly satisfying, you know, cutting up paper when it's so smooth like this. You know, totally shredding the printing paper. Oh shit, now we got some wind. Let's gather the pieces here before they are scattered all over the garden. So cutting printing paper, easy peasy for this knife. Really nice, clean cutting, solid performance, I'd say. Really solid performance. So let's move on to the magazine paper. See, let's just do like this. Then we have this visible in the camera. Yeah. And the wind is working a little bit against us, but it is what it is. Well, will you look at that? So that first page got sliced up pretty nicely. Really fine cuts. Really fine cuts. Let's go with this one with a more like wavy pattern perhaps. Seems to be working good. So yeah, slicing magazine paper, it seems like that is what this knife was designed to do. A dedicated magazine paper slicer of sorts. Let's go with some quick. Yeah, I will say that this was also a really solid performance. This knife seems to be able to slice any type of paper effortless, but we still have the biggest challenge left. Let's just see here. Yeah, completely shredded with fine cuts. Really good work. Now we have the grand finale that consists of newspaper paper. So let's go with that, shall we? Let's see what we can do. Is the wind? It's not too windy now. I'll press it against the table here. So this might not look very impressive, but slicing this paper is actually, I mean, just slicing it is an achievement to begin with, and slicing it finely and fast like this, that is actually really good stuff. Look at that. This is impressive. So here we have the newspaper paper with fine cuts. This is impressive work. It may not look it, but it is. So I will say that this knife did a really solid performance overall with the paper, all types of paper. It seems that Cheburkov knows how to make sharp knives. Really impressive work. As you can see, there is a cutting board here on the table, which means it is time for some slicing of fruits and vegetables using the very stylish looking Cheburkov Eger. And I've already done a lot of food slicing or fruit and vegetable slicing with Cheburkov's fixed blades, or the 3 blades I currently own. I might have more on the way. But slicing with the folders have been a pure joy, to be honest. They are all incredible slicers, I will say. And I have no doubt whatsoever that this will be an incredible slicer as well, given how well it performed at the paper slicing tests. So, like I stated, we're gonna slice some vegetables, which can be seen here: a paprika, aubergine, cucumber and tomato. And we're also going to slice some different types of fruits: grapes, oranges, banana, apple, kiwi and pear. So that is what we have on the plate today. And I'm gonna start with the vegetables, and we are going to start with the yellow paprika, this juicy, nice paprika here. So let's cut into it right away. See, remove the seed house right away. See, let's do like this. Remove that as well. Let's remove a bit extra here. I don't want any of the seeds here. They are not edible. They are, I think they are actually quite bad to eat, to be fully honest. So I can say right away, working with this knife in the kitchen is definitely something I can see myself doing, not only on video. That is like, you know, actually using it in the kitchen. Come on, so many small seeds everywhere. Scrape the seeds off. So now we have 4 nice pieces here of paprika to slice up a little. I'm gonna do like this, but this is just for the video, otherwise I wouldn't remove that much. So it feels like I'm holding a kitchen knife here, and the performance is very nice as well. I mean, even though the folders were excellent at slicing all the types of fruit and vegetables that I threw at them, I really do prefer, you know, having a handle like this, you know, a fixed blade. There's nothing wrong whatsoever with the actual cutting abilities, or, you know, making as fine pieces of food here with the folders. But in terms of ergonomics, you know, it's I just, you know, I prefer I prefer a fixed blade in the kitchen. So it was very easy and very comfortable slicing this paprika up like this. Now we are gonna turn them into small bits and pieces here. And we will go with the rest as well. So now we have completely sliced and diced the paprika to small bits and pieces here, which we are now going to place here on the vegetable plate. So let's see. There we go. Really nice bright yellow color, and they are super juicy, these pieces. Oops. Yeah. So next up we will go with the aubergine here. Maybe do something. Let's remove this bottom part here. And with this ones we can do pieces like this in all the other videos, I think. So we might try to be a bit consistent and do the same here, making these sort of pie pieces or pizza pieces, or yeah, whatever you wanna call them. So let's put them over here for now. Then we can do some slicing and dicing. Yeah. Oops. My bad. Yeah, but we did some random pieces here, and then finally we can make some. Yeah, maybe we should just go with some half moons. I'm gonna remove this part, and then we can go with just random half moons. So this was the aubergine test. Different types of bits and pieces here. So let's place them here on the vegetable plate. Something like that, perhaps. So after that we will proceed with the cucumber. Just, you know, going with some pieces like this for the plate. Then we can do some other stuff as well. Let's go with some. Oh, my back! Let's go with some like cucumber sticks to dip in tzatziki or something else. Maybe we could actually make them slightly smaller. I've done some regular dicing here. Yeah. Like that, sort of. Then we can go with just some half moons to make it look nice, or try to make it look semi-nice on the plate. Yeah, like that. So that was the cucumber. Now we have the last part, which is probably the most interesting one, and that is the tomato test, which can, for some knives, put up a challenge. It has not been a challenge at all so far for the Cheburkovs, but and I doubt it will be a challenge for this knife. I can pretty much guarantee it will not be a challenge. But we will do it anyways, in the name of science. So, 2 tomatoes. So we're gonna start with just full slices here, removing the top part. A bit too thin, actually. But cutting this tomato is absolutely not a challenge for this knife. No hiccups, no nothing. It just, you know, goes right through it with ease. So let's place these on the plate. Trying to do something semi-fancy, but you know, it just isn't my just isn't my style. Decorating plates. Although practice makes perfect, so if I make another 100 videos or something like that, you know, we might actually see some progress or improvements. So next up here, let's slice this one up in a different fashion, perhaps like this. Yeah. And then we can do some slicing and dicing here. Man, this knife is so comfortable working with in the kitchen here. I mean, I really appreciate it. Like I said, I mean, performance-wise or sharpness-wise, it might be on the same level as like the Goodson or the Ruski. I mean, the Ruski and this one does share the same blade design, sort of. This one is of course a bit longer, but in terms of actual comfort, this is much nicer in my opinion. And I'm not saying that, you know, that the Goodson or the Ruski or even the Medved, that they are uncomfortable knives using in the kitchen. I'm just saying that this is more comfortable. Those folders are actually quite comfortable, especially, of course, the Goodson and the Ruski. The Medved was never designed as a kitchen knife in any way, but it will, of course, it was designed to be sharp and slice stuff though. So, but now we are actually finished with the first plate of the two. So let's take a look at what we accomplished with this strikingly beautiful blade. So this is the vegetable plate that we did. The tomatoes, cucumber, aubergine, and down here we have some, well, it's actually quite a lot of paprika, but it's not really visible. So it may not be the finest, you know, fish or plate you have seen, but the knife undoubtedly sliced up the vegetables really good. That is, you know, that is just how it is. So now we're gonna go with the fruit plate, and we're gonna start with a banana. Or so I think we are. So how do you slice a banana? Well, I mean, most people will just open up the peel and probably remove the banana and then do stuff. But we're gonna do it my way, which is a pretty messed up way, but it's just, you know, as a sharpness test once again. Now we're just going like this, peel and everything. Then we can make some other stuff. Yes, this is strange. It is strange, I agree. Yeah. Move that one. And then we can try to be a bit normal. Perhaps a bit. So here we have a strangely sliced up banana. Let's place it on the fruit plate here some way. I don't really know how we're gonna do this, but it looks really strange. Like I said, you know, decorating plates, that is not my strong point in any way or sense. So let's move on with more strange stuff here. So we have a pear here, and we're just gonna slice up in a strange fashion as well. But at least you can actually eat the peel here, so I mean, we got that going for us. So, sliced up pear. Not much of a challenge. Didn't expect it to be any type of challenge either, though. So let's try to place it here some way. Then we have another fruit that we're gonna slice in a semi-strange way, and that is a kiwi. Remove that part to begin with. I guess we could, you know, try to go for the actual meat here of the kiwi and cut away the non-edible peel. Actually got some peel left over here. Slice it away. This one I think was clean, yep. And we can slice it up as well a little. So that was the kiwi test, which the knife passed. Pieces there. So next test is gonna be the apple. There's a red apple here, so let's try not to break it apart when cutting it. We did not, yeah, we broke a tiny piece off. Then we're gonna try to remove the seed house without breaking the entire apple piece. Go. There's one seed left inside. And we do the very same over here. Yeah. And then we can start slicing these apples up a bit. So now we have a fairly sliced up apple here. These would not work for an apple pie. They are too thin, but they would work in a fruit salad perhaps. Have a seed? No, it's just. So let me place this over here at the fruit plate, fruit salad. It is what it is, like I always say. And then we have this piece. We can we can just maybe we can slice and dice it a bit. I sliced my thumb instead. Anyways, now we have some just random pieces here that could work in a fruit salad, sort of. Yep. Yeah, not too bad actually. Place it here on the plate. Next up, we're gonna slice some grapes, because that is how you eat them. You have to slice them before you eat them, right? I don't really know how many we need, but I think think this should be sufficient of sorts. So let's start cutting these grapes up here. Can start by doing some easy work. Just cutting them into like 4 pieces of sorts. also slice them like this. Yeah. That's a pretty easy job. We can also, of course, slice them in a slightly different way. Let's place them here on the blade. Take a look at the really thin pieces here. So made pretty nice work here of the grape. Really thin pieces. So let's just, I'm not sure if we're gonna cut up all the rest here. I don't really see the need for it, because we can pretty much conclude that this blade this blade is capable of slicing grapes in all types of shapes, sort of. Yeah, we don't even have to slice the rest up here, I think. Just gonna move this over to the fruit salad plate. This. We have now reached the final part, which is the orange. So let's get going. Man, my frigging thumb. Well, I see the battery is dying on the camera, so I'm probably gonna have to change that as well. So the battery in my camera died. I had a spare one, so no problem, so I could go and get it. And I could also go and get a small band-aid here. I rarely, I'm usually too lazy to use band-aids, and I rarely cut myself, believe it or not. But these knives are super sharp, and I've been standing here slicing stuff for quite some time now. So, but let's start by slicing this one up here in full, complete round slices, so to say. Cutting through the seeds here, and there are many seeds, and they are kind of large also as well. Let's toss this away and continue. Now it is starting to get semi-risky here. Let's do like this. Forget about it. Like that. So we still managed to get a few slices from this this orange, and it was more or less completely effortless to cut it up like that. So this knife is it is a good kitchen knife, if that is what you're looking for, and a good hunting knife, I'm sure also. I mean, it is called the, why can't I ever remember if it's the Huntsman or the Hunter? And the thing is that there is a Cheburkov model that is called the Hunter and the Huntsman, so there are two different Cheburkov models. Regardless, I am pretty certain that this knife would be a good hunting knife, skinner, etc. But that is not something that I'm going to show in my channel. There might be other channels out there which can focus more on those aspects, so to say. Now we have this final piece of orange left here, so let's do some pieces like this. And the smell of orange is really nice here and there. Smells lovely. So now we have a few pieces like this. These seeds, they are messing up my OCD. Let's see if we can place these ones some nice random way. Not sure. Yeah, whatever. Let's take a look at what we have accomplished here today. No, we're not gonna take a look at my thumb. That is not the main focus here. We're gonna do some field surgery later, perhaps. I'm sure this one would be excellent in removing, well, whatever you want to remove from your body. So here is now the fruit plate that we just did with the oranges, the grapes, the apple, kiwi, banana, and pear. So let's place it over here, perhaps. And then we have the not so nice looking plate of vegetables here. So let's put them side by side. It's kind of hard to fit everything in, but it is what it is. So I will say that this is an excellent slicer, works really well for food prep, and a kitchen knife at that. It's super comfortable handle, super comfortable to work with. I also think that that the blade design works well for cutting and slicing. Overall, this one was a pure joy to work with, and I am pretty confident I'm going to use this one in the kitchen every now and then, just because, to get some variation of sorts. Yeah. We have now swapped the soft fruits and vegetables to some wood instead here, to do some feathers, or hopefully do some nice feathers. I'm gonna pick one of these pieces, and then we're gonna have at it with this little beautiful thing. So let's pick one of these pieces and also zoom in on the camera. I think is a good idea as well. Let's see. So here we have a piece of wood, and we also have a more zoomed in picture, so it should be easier to see if we can make some feathers here. So let's proceed. First one, but I think it accidentally fell off. Let's see if we can get them to stick like this. So this is the first official feather that is still in place. Do we have some I mean, we do get nice curls, but they seem to not want to stay attached to the wood piece. Went too deep with that one. So I feel like this knife, it does want to bite deep, but if, you know, if balanced just right, you can get these super nice curls, but it does want to bite. No doubt about it. Yeah. So my camera got a little bit overheated, but we are picking up now exactly where we finished off here. So, like I stated, it is possible to get nice or semi-nice curly feathers, but this knife wants to bite deep. Let's remove this little piece that we have actually managed to get here. So, I mean, these are, some of these are fine feathers, as can be seen here, but it is not as easy to make actually as with the Cheburkov folders. I actually had less problems making, you know, feathers with those, which is well, to me it is a little bit surprising, because I think that, you know, the folders are not really, you know, feather sticking machines, more like, you know, task for a fixed blade in some sense. But that's why we make these videos, to, you know, to get an understanding of sorts here for how the knives performs. I could try another wood piece here. I mean, it could be something about that particular wood that I used with this fixed blade, but still we did get some you know, feathers that will work. It will be easy to get these feathers on fire, if you do have matches or a fire steel, that is. But we can perhaps try another stick here as well, see what we can accomplish. Here we have another piece of wood, hopefully not from the exact same wood piece as the last one, because that would make this additional test kind of useless, to be honest. But let's see what we can accomplish here. They are falling off, but we are at least making some much finer feathers using this piece of wood than the last one. Maybe it was something with the wood grains in the last one we did. I shouldn't have said that, because now I made something ugly. Yeah, let's just take a quick look at what we got here first. So these are much finer feathers, as can be seen. So, but out in the woods, when you have to make a fire, you will just have to go with whatever type of trees you find. I mean, you can't be very selective at times. You just have to roll with what you are offered by Mother Nature. And that's how it is. I will say it still wants to bite kind of deep. Yeah, let's remove this piece here. So these are some slightly finer feathers. Let's remove these. And this was the made before. So this is what we managed to make with the Cheburkov Eger, and I mean this is not bad in any way. I mean this is quite sufficient. It will work really well making a fire, no doubt, absolutely no doubt about that. So I mean this concludes the feather sticking video with the Cheburkov Eger. We started this video review outside, a sunny afternoon or sunny evening, very much like the setting we are in right now here. And this is also the setting that I want to end my video review for the Cheburkov Eger. And we're gonna do some wood carving and notches, etc. Things I was not, originally planning to do with this specific knife here. But I feel like to make the review as comprehensive as possible and to show, what the knife can do, I feel like this is well, it has to be done in some regards at least. So I'm gonna move the camera a bit closer here, and then we can start working with the wood, and after that I will summarize my thoughts and my conclusions about this very, very fine looking blade. So let's put this one to use now. We have a lot of different types of trees here. This one looks like birch to me. We can try to make this one into a spearhead. It's already broken off a little bit here, so we get some help on the way, but we still have to make it even. So fairly thick piece. Let's get going. Maybe I can actually move up here to the camera. Is this better perhaps? Yeah, so as we know, when we did the feather sticking test here, the knife really wanted to bite deep into the wood, so that can actually be seen here as well. This is probably another type of wood though, but still. Makes fairly thick work, and it is absolutely, pointy enough to spear a hot dog or something if you have that with you in the woods. See that? It's pretty nice. Yeah. Quite pointy. So I mean this one will definitely bite. Let's see if we can make a notch or something here as well. Yeah. Perhaps like here. It's really easy to accidentally, get out of the camera because it's so zoomed in. We're starting off with making a semi-deep cut like that. It actually so deep it got stuck here to the knife, and then we get out of the camera. No, not really. But then we start, breaking in here. It's quite hard. This tree. Oops. Like I said, it's really easy to accidentally get out of the filming area here. Let's go it a bit deeper. even deeper. Let's make a semi-deep notch here. But it is surprisingly hard because it's so dry. Oops. So could this be it? Yeah. So now we have, in my opinion, made a quite nice notch. And the tree is hard, so it won't... This would actually hold up for something. So we have a pointed tip here. It goes down to this notch. Yeah, clean cut. So I think I'm gonna save this piece to do something on the other side. Now I see that it's a bit broken up here, but maybe we can use this for another knife test. But this is, yeah, this is pretty good work. Courtesy of the Cheburkov Eger. Not only a fine looking blade, but actually a pretty good user at that. So carving and notching. That is one wet golden retriever. So this is the spot that I picked to try to summarize and my thoughts, and come up to some sort of conclusion here. So I will say once again here with Eger that I really like the sheath. It is of the highest quality, I would say. The leather used, the stitching, the rivets, the dangler, everything about this sheath is top notch. So really nice sheath and highly functional. So let's take a look here at... Oh, I'm gonna say that I know that I have the sun directly behind me, that it's... holy crap! That I probably appear just like, a dark silhouette or a shadow of sorts, but you have seen enough of me, or you have seen some of me, and you have seen a lot of this knife here. So even if this is just a silhouette, you know quite well what the knife looks like after a review that is probably over like 1 hour, or maybe more like 1.5 hours. So let's go over a bit what we have done here with this fixed blade from Cheburkov. We started off with some paper slicing, which this knife did quite well. It sliced the 3 types of paper excellent. So that is easy to summarize. Then we went on to the kitchen to do some sort of food prep, slicing fruits and vegetables, and this knife did it all pretty much flawlessly. And like I stated when I did the food prep or the slicing, it is, in my opinion, a bit nicer working with a fixed blade than a folder. Not saying the folders weren't nice to work with or ergonomically, but it's just something about the ergos of a fixed blade when you work in the kitchen. And this one has great ergos. So slicing the fruits, all the fruits were really easy to cut up. No issues, no hiccups, no nothing. And the very same goes for all the vegetables we went with. So flawless performance. After that we did some feather sticking, and while it may not be the absolute best feather sticker, it still did do feathers, and it did do nice small curls, and it did do larger feather as well. But the knife wanted to bite kind of deep, so you really had to think about the control of the knife when making the feathers. Out in the woods then we did some we did some wood carving and some notches, and the knife performed pretty well there as well, or so I remember it. So overall this knife is, it's probably probably supposed to be used mainly as a hunting knife of sorts, but we have done no real hunting. We haven't done any skinning or deboning or anything like that. I should maybe have bought some different kinds of meat to try to, you know, slice up or something like that, but we have to satisfy with what I could do. It's still quite a comprehensive review. But regardless, the knife has, you know, held up super fine. The edge is razor sharp, of course, still. There's no visible marks or traces in the Damascus that the knife has been used for anything. I will say that I did, of course, clean the knife after use, but I did not sharpen it. So, I mean, it's just, you know, if you find the knife to be good looking, if you enjoy the blade shape, which is very much similar to the Cheburkov Ruski folder, then I can highly recommend this specific fixed blade. I will see if I will get any more. I know that Lamnia is waiting on a large shipment of knives from Cheburkov here, and I am particularly interested in the Cheburkov Scandi and some of their folders, and I really want to order them, but they are out of stock right now. But if I do, I will have something more to compare this knife to. And like I said in the beginning of the video, this one is in Damascus with titanium bolsters and Mazur birch wood handle. But you can get it in a lot of other different types of handle materials and also in other blade materials like other laminated steels or M390, etc. If you have those, I mean, we all have our different preferences, or, you know, for the different purposes or tasks that we use the knives for. But overall, I will say that I am impressed with this fixed blade. I like it a lot. It is a stunning looking knife. I kind of want to show it in the camera, but I realized once again it's gonna be difficult to show it here. It's just gonna be like, you know, a dark silhouette of sorts. Maybe we can get whatever. You have seen this knife a lot the past 1 hour or 1.5 hours, so you know what I'm talking about. But as my first fixed blade from Cheburkov, I am impressed. He really makes excellent fixed blades, or an excellent fixed blade and excellent folders as well. I wish I would have pulled the trigger a lot earlier, like I stated in, I think, one of my Cheburkov video reviews at least, that I've been thinking for quite some time to pull the trigger. I'm sad, or I feel like I definitely shouldn't have waited as long as I did, like a couple of years. I should have gone much earlier. But it is what it is, and now, at least now, I have a few in my possession, and in the future I will have a few more.